What's up everybody, Sensei here. This is the first educational video I've made since I switched to Hunt Showdown. The reason why I haven't made any videos is because I wanted to get to a competitive skill level before trying to teach people how to play the game. Now that I'm able to retain an extremely high MMR while being aggressive, it's time for me to start teaching this new community some things that I've learned since I started playing the game. In this series, I'll be breaking down every single compound in the game, showing high IQ jumps, angles, and unknown locations to help you attack and defend at every location. Today we'll be covering Davant Ranch. This place is pretty even when it comes to attacking and defending. To start things off, I recommend always pushing this compound from the southeastern side behind the White House. There's a lot of bushes, no traffic, and the bounty lair cannot see you pushing from this direction. Every other direction has large fields, ridges, and limited cover to hide, which obviously is going to put you at a disadvantage. Once you're inside of the White House, you and your team can pretty easily control this entire side of the compound. It's also extremely difficult for the bounty team to safely peek this direction. Let's go over a few moves inside the house that might get you some kills. Regardless of where the enemy team is shooting at you from, there's 3 unpredictable windows that you can fall into from the roof. These windows can lead to a satisfying outplay on your enemies, and there's multiple of these houses across the map, so this applies to more than just Davant Ranch. The first window is the hardest and most dangerous, but it allows you to get to ground level inside of the house to flank any enemies pushing inside. To do this, don't jump off the roof. Simply walk off and immediately hug the side of the house above the window. Once you land on it, quickly crouch to walk through. The second window is really good for repositioning. I would recommend being on top of the house and shooting at your enemy. After you shoot at them, immediately run off the back of the house and jump through this window. The enemy will be expecting you to still be on top of the roof, and then you can take another shot from inside the house. Just remember not to peek the same spot too many times. The last window is perfect if an enemy is trying to push the roof. They will never expect you to come from behind with this quick maneuver. I've never seen anybody jump through these windows off the roof of this house, so anybody that you do this to will not be expecting it. Now let's get closer to the bounty lair. You can vault onto the hay bales near this door. Now run across them and get an amazing angle on the inside of the boss lair. I've never really seen anybody do this, so it'll be pretty unexpected. You just need to be aware of hunters watching from upstairs. Also, before you try it, you cannot crouch through this window. This is another pretty cool angle that I found. It's kind of hard to see through, but it might serve useful to players that are capable of shooting at pixels. First, run over to this wagon. Now jump onto the wheel. Once you're here, you can walk across the fence and see through these huge cracks on the side of the building. This angle won't get you a crap ton of kills, but maybe someday you'll have an opportunity to try it out. The last real advice I have for pushing this compound is the crouched entrance on the north side. People tend to be camping straight across from it in a corner. I recommend if you ever push through this, always check this small crack, which I will explain later. Then quickly jump peek to see if anybody's in the corner waiting for you. Now that we're finished talking about attacking, let's get on to defending. One good rule of thumb is, in Hunt Showdown, players don't look up. Even in 6-star lobbies, I've had absolute gods completely confused because I was standing above a door. The first spot is really cool, you're almost completely hidden from all directions. The main downside to this spot is that you can't line up shots and it takes time to get here. I would recommend only using this spot if you're planning to ambush enemies that push inside. Also, don't forget to use a shotgun. To get up to this spot, you have to sprint against the hay bale and jump multiple times. Then you have to sprint and jump to the right. After that, it's pretty easy to crouch and squeeze yourself behind the curtains. This next spot is really something special. It's absolutely amazing for controlling the crouch entrance, and it gives you some pretty cheeky angles on the longhouse. I've never really seen anybody hiding here, so chances are your enemies won't be expecting it. I would be very cautious about this tiny crack in the wall that I showed earlier, since it does give your enemies an easy angle on you. All you have to do to get through this spot is jump on top of this hay bale. Now hug the hay bale to your right, sprint, and jump. This jump is a bit difficult, so I would recommend practicing it first. When enemies are attacking from the White House, it can be really hard to peek at all. These windows are pretty much your only option, and it is incredibly easy to die peeking these windows. There's also a sneaky angle to shoot at people standing in the windows. But there is a solution. All you have to do is jump on top of this hay bale. Your field of view is almost the exact same, but it will be much harder for enemies to see you. You'll also have more cover and hopefully not die the next time you defend here. Have you ever wondered what this window is doing here? You can't peek through it from the inside or the outside. It's almost as if Crytek had a secret way of looking through this. It's kind of hilarious how obvious it is, but there is literally a steps tool that gives you an amazing angle on the northern gate entrance. The last bit of advice I have is an instant kill trap spot. A lot of enemies push from the northern bridge since it's facing the center of the map. You can place a trap here, and a lot of the time, it'll be hiding in plain sight. Most people don't look for traps when they're out in the open, so if you know an enemy team is pushing from the bridge, you can peek from the longhouse, which is a lot more unpredictable than using the upstairs windows in the boss lair. I do understand that Davant Ranch has 2 boss lairs, but the longhouse is already pretty easy to defend, and it has a lot of windows, and there's not really anything special going on with it. And that's why I didn't include it in this video. If you know any other secret locations, let me know in the comments. And also, don't forget to like and subscribe.
Oh my god!